Rebels is one of the most beloved shows in the entire Star Wars galaxy. Believe it or not, it has now been almost 11 years since Star Wars Rebels premiered. That's wild. I feel like when the show first came out in 2014, it was received relatively well, but in the decade and additional years since then, it's only grown in popularity. At first, it felt like a bit of a cult following, but now I'd call it just a robust fandom for this show. People love Rebels and they love these characters. And that ended up being very good news for people who had sealed copies of LEGO Star Wars Rebels sets. They skyrocketed in value to astronomical prices. Some of the most desirable minifigures and sets from the 2010s are part of the LEGO Star Wars Rebels collection. Additionally, Rebels just so happened to be my next stop in chronologically ranking every single Star Wars property's LEGO sets. So I figured now was a good time to, well, rank the sets. Without further ado, here are my rankings for every LEGO Star Wars Rebels set from worst to best. Now there are some rather insignificant products I will not be including in today's list that comprises of polybags, promotional Comic-Con sets, and microfighters. With those specifications out of the way, let's dive into the countdown. Number 13, set number 75078, Imperial Troop Transport. Fitting a $13 set comes in at number 13 on this list, and in my opinion, really the only bad Star Wars Rebels set LEGO ever made. Now before I rag on this set, there's actually two things that I kind of love about it, oddly enough. Number one, the minifigures included. This is a battle pack, and it came with 4 generic baseline stormtroopers, which is absolutely phenomenal for army building. I wish LEGO gave us more battle packs like this. The other component of this set that I think is fantastic is the fact that the build itself is replicating something that's actually featured in the Star Wars Rebels TV show and other locations in the Star Wars canon. Most of the time, battle pack builds are just random things LEGO has made up, but that was not the case here. That being said, both of these major pros are also major cons. They're catch-22s, double-edged swords, etc. Because the minifigures are the Star Wars Rebels renditions of Stormtroopers, and while they do use a good Stormtrooper helmet mold, the classic old version, the printing on said mold looks really rough if you ask me. I just hate that look. And while the build is canonical, it just downright looks bad and dinky. It's very downsized. It's not a great replication of the vehicle from the show. It just isn't good. So the blueprint of this set was fantastic. The value of this set for $13 with over 140 pieces, fantastic. But the execution was really bad, thus it's in last place. Number 12, set number 75141, Kanan's speeder bike. Like I said with the last set, I think pretty much every other set in today's video is pretty good in its own right. The ones here at the bottom are just a little bit less good. With 234 pieces for $20 US, this set was a solid value. It came with some decent minifigures, although none of them were actually exclusive. The build for the speeder bike was too big, but I think it had some decent shaping. The little trailer hitches it could tow around looked pretty cool, and you see a lot of stuff like that in the show. And overall, I think it's a fine $20 set. There's nothing really damning about this product, but there's nothing super exciting about it either. It's just kind of there and it's decent. But decent doesn't get you super high in these videos. Number 11, set number 75090, Ezra's speeder bike. This set is very similar to the previous set. It's 20 bucks. It has a really good price per piece. This one's even better at 253 pieces. It has 3 minifigures, none of which are exclusive, and some pretty solid builds. The speeder bikes here are also comically oversized, but I think they look a little bit more interesting in design. But the one reason this set gets a leg up over the other is the inclusion of Sabine Wren. When this set was first released, this was the only way you could get said character, and it also remains to this day the cheapest set LEGO has ever produced with this very desirable character. So for simply having a Sabine figure, this set gets one spot higher. But once again, like I said, with Kanan's speeder bike, Ezra's speeder bike here is just kind of a decent set. Moving into the top 10, we have number 10, 75048, the Phantom. This is the original Phantom set all the way back from 2014. It's also the first time we ever got an Ezra Bridger figure and a Chopper figure, and they both looked really good. I especially like the exclusive helmet mold we got for Ezra, one of his disguises we see throughout the series. The build for the Phantom itself is not the prettiest design in the world. I especially hate the giant spring-loaded launcher on the top of the vehicle. that looks very awkward but is very easily removed as well. It's just a decent little build. I love how it interacts with the Ghost set, which we'll see later in this video, and overall I think it was a solid $25 set, just not really anything particularly incredible. Number 9, set number 75082, TIE Advanced Prototype. I think this set being only at number 9 is just kind of displaying some of my personal bias, and I'm going to admit to that here. It's a very subjective reason. I just don't love the way the TIE Advanced Prototype looks in the Star Wars universe. It's so skinny and thin, it always felt a bit skimpy to me, and for that reason I don't love this TIE, so I don't love this set, but objectively LEGO did a solid job designing a LEGO rendition of this vehicle into the play scale, especially for 2015. The shaping is really good, and it also includes one of the best LEGO Star Wars minifigures of all time, frankly, the Grand Inquisitor, who looks better than the version we got in 2022 from the Obi-Wan series. His printing is amazing. I love his armor piece, and that helmet is so cool. So for that reason, this set finds itself comfortably in the top 10, but it's not one of my personal favorites. Number 8, 75170, the Phantom. This is the 2017 rendition of the Phantom, aka the Phantom 2, and I feel like this Phantom looks more visually interesting to me than the original Phantom. And while the LEGO version here is not perfect by any means, it looks darn good. The shaping was done nicely, and this set also just so happened to include Grand Admiral Thrawn, again one of the best figures from this entire collection, and he was worth a pretty penny for quite some time until 2024 when they finally gave us a new version of Thrawn from the Ahsoka show. But that figure definitely helped put this set over the top, and the blind variation of Kanan Jarrus was also really cool too. Two great figures, a pretty good vehicle for a $30 set. Yeah, this one was a big winner, and it definitely deserves being kind of in the middle of the pack here. Number 7, 75084, Wookiee Gunship. For a long time I actually strongly disliked this set. I thought it was kind of a waste to be the flagship set of an entire wave of LEGO Star Wars back in the winter of 2015, and I did not buy it upon its initial release, which I of course regretted because this set skyrocketed in value over time, but I was able to snag a good deal on it a couple of years ago on eBay for about $110 sealed, which wasn't half bad, and I was pleasantly surprised with the design. It's a striking looking vehicle. There aren't too many tan vehicles in the LEGO Star Wars universe. There are lots of opening compartments and play functions which are quite fun. The minifigs were okay, not one of the better minifig lineups they've done for this sub-theme, but overall the vehicle itself is a good build that I had a lot more respect for actually after getting this set. It was the final Star Wars Rebels set I needed to complete my collection, and I'm glad I did, and that's why this set is ultimately at number 7. It's better than it looks, y'all. Trust me on this one. You can actually check out my review I did a couple years ago if you want to. Number 6, 75157, Captain Rex's ATTE. This is probably the weirdest LEGO Star Wars Rebels set ever produced. I mean, what is going on here? This comes from a very specific arc of the show that occurs early in season 2. It's not even that important of an arc in the grand scheme of things, but it's fun to get LEGO Star Wars sets from obscure moments in the franchise like this. And I love the ATTE. That is my personal favorite walker from Star Wars. This is actually probably the worst ATTE LEGO has ever done because all the extra stuff going on here just makes it look weird, but the weirdness is very colorful and very visually striking, yielding an extremely unique set. And ultimately I'm kind of confounded on how to rank this one because I don't subjectively love the look of it, but I objectively think LEGO did a pretty good job designing it. And overall I like this set even if it's not one of my personal favorite sequences in the show. And it had some cool minifigures as well, including a really good looking fifth brother and some exclusive variations of old renditions of the classic clone troopers. So yeah, I'm a bit head scratched on this set, and I think number 6 ended up being a very solid spot for it. Kicking off the top 5, we have set number 75106, Imperial Assault Carrier. I feel like this vehicle in particular has benefited from appearing in subsequent Star Wars material beyond Star Wars Rebels. Like this ship is in The Mandalorian pretty heavily, so having this set in your collection just feels fitting. And LEGO did a darn good job replicating it in 2015. The front cockpit maybe could have been refined a little bit more with some more interesting snot techniques, but the rest of the build looks nice. The shaping was done well. Similar to other sets like the Wookiee Gunship, there are lots of opening compartments and storage and fun play features, highlighted by the miniature scale TIE fighters that can deploy from the bottom. That's a weird thing for a play scale LEGO Star Wars set, but I think they executed it very well. And overall, this is one of the flagships for any Imperial LEGO Star Wars army. I really like this one. It's a very, very cool set. But unfortunately, the 6 minifigures included for a $130 set were kind of lame. I think that's probably the biggest weakness this set had, and it prevented it from being any higher than just number 5. Number 4, set number 75083, ATDP. I feel like I mention this all the time in my rankings videos, just kind of, you know, touting myself here, but I was the first to review this on YouTube back in 2014, a little bit early. So for that reason, I do have some personal bias in favor of this set, but at the same time, LEGO did a great job with this design, y'all. I mean, come on, look at this shaping for the cockpit area. Look at that printed half dome element. Look at the size of this walker. It was a really striking build for only 50 bucks. We also got Agent Callus here. We got some cool ATDP drivers. This was a really successful set, and it was only $50 with exactly 500 pieces, meaning it's exactly 10 cents per piece. This set was a huge winner. It's just not quite as epic as our top 3. Number 3 is set number 75150, Vader's TIE Advanced versus A-Wing Starfighter. LEGO has kind of brought back the concept of these 2-pack versus battle vehicle sets here recently, and I love it. I want them to do more and more of these. This one from 2016 was horribly overpriced. There's no reason this should have been 90 bucks back in the day. That being said, the A-Wing is great. It's a really nice looking dark green and gray A-Wing with some cool functions. I really love that A-Wing. But the TIE Advanced is the best version of that vehicle they have done to date. It looks so darn good. So getting 2 great vehicles plus an exclusive rendition of Sabine, an exclusive Darth Vader, an exclusive Grand Moff Tarkin really put this set over the top. And it might have been number 2 on this list if it weren't for the abhorrently bad price. But our number 2 selection, the penultimate set today, is set number 75158, Rebel Combat Frigate. If you're somebody like me, you probably enjoy getting all the different Star Wars vehicles for your collection, unique vehicles they don't make super often. And LEGO has only made this Rebel Combat Frigate once in 2016, and it was a darn good design. I especially love the use of the Jedi Interceptor cockpit piece at the front printed. That was a brilliant part choice, and it looked so cool. This also could have just been another big boring gray vehicle, but the splashes of tan, dark red, and slight little hints of transparent light blue really added to the aesthetics. The play functions were great. The interior was solid. I especially loved the carrying handle as well. And then of course it included that Ahsoka minifigure. Again, another just all-time great LEGO Star Wars figure that is worth so much money today. This was a perfect storm to make a near perfect set. I was a huge fan of this one in 2016, and it remains being one of the best Star Wars Rebels sets 9 years later. But of course, it's not number 1, and I think the number 1 selection is probably fairly obvious to everybody watching. It is number 1, set number 75053, the Ghost. Is this the obvious choice? Obviously. I mean, seriously, sometimes it's just gotta be the obvious pick, the pick that everybody pencils in. This is the best Star Wars Rebels set, and there's a reason it's worth so much darn money. My only complaint with this set is that the new Ghost from 2023 is actually noticeably better in terms of design. I made this one look a little bit worse. However, for 2014, this looked so good in my eyes that I can't retroactively say it's that much worse of a set now. It was also one of the first Star Wars Rebels set, has such a great color scheme, the play functions are awesome, there are so many opening cockpits and compartments and little things to do, it interacts perfectly with the smaller Phantom set. The value for your money was awesome, man. 90 bucks for over 900 pieces. The set was 10 cents per piece and sizable. I miss the days when you could get something substantial for a $90 LEGO Star Wars set. It gave us the first ever version of Kanan Jarrus as a LEGO figure, and you're lucky if you have the one with black hair. It also gave us Hera for the first time, a great figure 2, and Zeb, who's only ever appeared in this set and is worth a lot of money. And speaking of a lot of money, this set is like $650 sealed still. It definitely went down in price a little bit after they made a new Ghost, but this one is still worth a ton of cheddar, man. Like I said, it's the obvious choice, but I'm owning up to that, and I'm gonna be hard pressed to find anybody I think that really disagrees with me. I'm pretty comfortable in saying set number 75053, the Ghost, is the greatest LEGO Star Wars Rebels set of all time. But those are just my thoughts. Please comment down below with your personal ranking for the LEGO Star Wars Rebels sets. Which one of these products is your favorite as well? Let me know. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. God bless. Bye-bye.